This is the start of our mini T drill. We're initially just going to start teaching each cast individually. So I'm kind of working a very small force to pile here. What I'm going to start doing is stopping my dog with a whistle sit when she's on her way back to me. And then I'm going to take the bumper from her, throw it to the back pile, and then I'll give her a left or right back cast. You're going to see me raise my hand vertically. As if I'm a clock face, I'm going to point my hand to 12 o'clock. Whichever hand I use, that's the direction I want the dog to turn to go to the back pile. When we do this, we'll put a little bit of force on that just to help the dog understand that this is another way we can drive them with the e-collar. The picture's different, so we have to teach it as its own distinct thing. But we're starting to teach this exercise this way. So this is working on teaching her to stop on the whistle. This is working on teaching her her left and right back casts. In between each one of the casts, I'm going to send her on a straight back where she goes straight out and comes straight back. I don't want her stopping prematurely. If I see that happen, I'm going to do a bunch of straight backs in a row to help counteract the fact that the dog wants to stop before I tell them to. So we always want the dog doing more straight backs than anything else because that's what I want them focused on. You'll see there, when I'm blowing my whistle, my sit whistle, I'm taking a step towards her to kind of apply some spatial pressure to get her to stop moving. Right, so that helps to get her to sit. If she doesn't respond promptly, I can repeat the command and nick her. You'll also notice I have a leash on her, and I'm taking my time getting that untangled around her legs after I stopped her, and I'm hanging on to that leash. That way I can prevent her from completing a retrieve if she turns the wrong direction from the one that I casted her. So it's really important on this step that we're not trying to use our e-collar to stop the dog too much. We're using the leash and collar to prevent them from accessing the reward, which is the retrieve. Right? So we're using that mostly as our teaching tool here. So there's a little bit of e-collar pressure involved, but most of this is me managing a leash so that I can manage her ability to access reward. The next thing you're going to start seeing is I'm going to stop her on the way out to the pile. So again, we're going to hang on to our line. That way when I blow my whistle when she's on her way out, I'm just going to let the leash slide through my hands, but I'm going to pinch down on it as she's moving away from me, and that's going to force her to turn my direction. I'm doing that at the same time that I whistle her. You'll see this coming up on this next repetition here. So we just sent her on a straight back. And then this one, I'm going to stop her. So I'm going to let the lead slide through my hands. And then when I whistle, I'm going to choke down on that line, stopping her, makes her turn around. Okay, now I'm able to cast her to the back pile. If she doesn't go, I can put a little force on her there. You'll also notice I'm taking one step to the side, and I'm just trying to do that to help give her a hint which direction I want her to go. So we can fade that out over time, but it does seem to really help dogs go the right direction. And again, we're sending the dog straight back in between every cast at least once. Some dogs need many straight back casts in between, straight back retrieves in between casts, just to help them, help prevent them from stopping prematurely, right? Which we call popping. So she stops there before she hits the end of the line, which is good. I'm moving to the side so I can cast her straight back. Return to heel position. Take the bumper. And when the dog sits, when you whistle sit them, you should really take your time giving them a cast. I want them to be obedient to what I told them to do. And some dogs, they want to rush through this work, so I'm going to really take my time and have them sit there until they look relaxed. I can tell they're paying attention to me. We want to build some patience in that sit. It'll pay dividends later when we need to slow the dog down because they're getting a little stressed in later work.